All right. Well, thank you guys for watching our top 5. We're going to get into our review of the evening, and I am super stoked for this one. Holiday Touchdown, a Chiefs love story. I'm going to just read the IMDb of what this is about, this small blurb. Chiefs superfan Alana tries to win the Fan of the Year award as a Christmas gift for her family, falling in love with someone in the Chiefs front office along the way. Dude. Oh my God. So this is the movie that has Travis and Jason Kelce's mom in it.
Yep.
It has numerous people who are sort of peripheral in the Chiefs world.
Sure.
And it's about some dude who works at the Chiefs they're running this Fan of the Year, and he falls in love with a girl in his family who are super Chiefs fans, and they have a magical hat that they have to wear on Christmas or the Chiefs will lose everything. And so let's get into it. So we got the story down. This was not based on Taylor and Travis's life, because this is very different, but it's supposed to be a love story very in a similar vein with a lot of Chiefs crap everywhere.
Sure.
This movie would not fly in New Jersey for the Giants. It wouldn't. I don't even know. Nobody would shop at their shop. Nobody would, because that's New Jersey for you. Now, if they were Jets fans, that's a different story. No, but watching this movie, we got into it. You're such a huge Taylor Swift fan.
I am.
And it was the end of the Eras tour.
It is. I have my Taylor Swift.
I know, you're wearing it. So I thought, let's talk about a movie that's supposed, like they did another one on Lifetime, but I was like, I'm going with the one that has Mama Kelce in it.
Yeah, I gotta go with Mama Kelce.
You could definitely tell there was more production value because there's Chiefs crap everywhere. That's all they're steeped in. This was a movie. I bet you the guy from marketing this guy is playing wrote this movie.
But you know what I loved? What small detail I loved was at the end when they're at like the actual game, she has on her Kansas City Eagles split jersey on.
Oh, Mama Kelce does.
She does. Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
So I love that she wore like her actual jersey, for both of her kids at the end.
And good for Mama Kelce. She did a good job in this.
She did a great job.
I'm not going to praise the movie by any means, but she did a good job. And it's not, she's not an actor. She stepped in, she delivered her lines, and you can say though, and I don't care until she says that it's not true, and she never will. You and Taylor Swift have both watched this movie.
That's true.
I'm not saying together, but you did both watch this movie. Because if she says she didn't, what does that say? You think Travis wasn't sitting at home that day? Like, it's opening, it's coming out. Got to see Mama in action.
I know.
If my mom was in a movie, I'd watch it too.
Yeah, me too. I know. And if I was dating someone, they certainly are going to watch it with me.
Damn right. So we know, we can deduce that Taylor Swift has watched this movie with us, and I don't know what her rating is. She can call in anytime and tell us, but
that's true. She could. Oh my gosh, I would die.
What do you think about this? I have a big problem with the movies that jump on the public domain too quickly.
Okay.
I don't have an issue if you take your time and adapt a public domain and try to build off those characters. That's fine. And they're doing that now with the Winnie the Pooh with the second one. But what about this? Taylor Swift is, this is like your maybe mother-in-law one day was in this movie. That your husband's team basically paid for this movie.
Right.
And it was a Hallmark thing. What do you think about movies like that? Do you think that's okay? Do you think it's product placement, or I'm just wondering how you feel?
At this point, if there's a good story that keeps me entertained, at this point, I don't really see a difference, because we've been through so many. We've been through like the first live show, right? The first live Broadway show on cable that was acted out. You know what I mean? Like, we sort of lived through all of these phases of life with television, with movies, with, X, Y, and Z, that to me, if it's done in a way that keeps my attention, which this movie did, I'm okay with it, to be honest.
I love it. All right.
Yeah.
So speaking of stories, this was a problem. This story is a problem. Like, they even introduced a Magic Santa.
There was
You
a
know,
Magic Santa.
so it has like, and it's not your traditional Hallmark movie where girl goes in and back to her small town, falls in love with a lumberjack, breaks up the guy who loves her all his whole
Sure.
heart. This is like two young people.
They're young.
You would call him young?
I would call him younger than me.
I don't know if that's true. I don't know if I can hold to that. I don't think he's that young. He looks, I mean, he is younger than, I mean, come on, anybody's not younger than me. I feel bad. Like, I feel like I'm trying to like throw him under the bus, but I need to know this guy's age. It's going to happen. So he's got to be about our age. She looked young.
She looked young.
I wonder if that's why they do it in movies. I don't know. I always figured that
she looks younger than him, which is usually how it's done in movies.
Yeah. Well, he's 38 years old. So he's younger. He's not that young. That is not a young face.
But they were both grown-ups. But they weren't frumpy grown-ups. You know what I mean? Like I kind of liked how they were both younger but single, but not this like, oh, I'm never going to find anyone. It was like, well, I just moved here, or well, I'm running my parents' Kansas City store. So I don't,
say it again real slow.
Yeah, like it didn't seem far-fetched.
All right, so not bad then. Okay, I looked her up too. She's 31, he's 38.
All right, that's not bad.
All right, not bad. No, she did look younger in this. They tried to like, she looked like almost closer to a teenage Taylor. Like you could tell they were going for like a Taylor look.
Yeah.
And for him, I think that there's just one look, and there's almost like he's not a cowboy, but he's kind of a cowboy. That's how Hallmark rolls.
Cowboy, yeah.
Sure. Hallmark's signature. So like, I just like with him, like he was always going to look older because he looks like a Hallmark version of Rip.
Yeah. Totes.
So from Yellowstone. So like for me, that's all right. That's not bad, but they do age him a lot, and they make him look aged. Like she looks young, he looks older.
Yeah.
And I just like that. I've never been a big fan of that in movies anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you have to have them the same age or anything, but like give it a reason.
Right.
You know, give it a real reason. Like I liked to use his like Iron Man 2. Like clearly Scarlett Johansson's the young sexualized character in that movie, and he's the older man. But she's a badass super spy who goes undercover as this beautiful woman most of the time. Like we find out what the Red Room is and what the that whole program was. So that's where writers made it make sense. Plus, she's an established character. I'm using this more often, but I can't stand I'm starting to think that maybe they use younger women against older men to make the men look younger.
Probably, or to make them still feel very vivacious.
I mean, listen, it is Hollywood. I'm not every day something comes out. So like, I'm sure people are writing stupid things in. Like, it's not the writers who write which actors are going to get what. It's, that's the casting and such. But
yeah,
I'm sure. But I'm wondering if it does play in, because I'm going to go back and start looking at that with more analytical eyes. Like, does it make them look younger versus working with somebody else? That's interesting. But let this, I will say, what's your rating for this one?
I gave this 3.5.
Wow.
I did. Yep. So I thought it was, again, it kept my attention, and I don't necessarily think, because I'm a Saints fan, right? Like Kansas City does not have their hold on me. Taylor or not, she can have them. But I loved that it not only kept my attention, it was a little bit where you could guess what was going to happen, a little bit predictable. But there was still some times when I was like, oh, okay, I didn't expect them to write it that way, right? Like I knew something was going to happen. I knew something was going to, cause this conflict to resolve, but it wasn't necessarily the resolution I expected. And I really liked that again, because it's a new movie, so I'm trying to do it with no spoilers because I don't want to ruin it for anybody that has it on their list, that they're dying to go and see it. And
I'll put spoilers up on the thing if you want.
Right.
If you want to go crazy, go ahead.
But at the end, when they were when it was being resolved and they were, like, I loved that the magic, it was because of them. It wasn't because of the hat. It wasn't because of this tradition or this, symbol. It was them. And I really like that they did it that way instead of the whole stadium being upset or what have you, that, something was amiss. I think that the way they did it, and I think it really does encompass the spirit of the season, or what it's supposed to be about, because it can get convoluted, but it really is about connections and us coming together as a people. And I just really hope that we can do that.
I want to say this, that I'm going to watch this again with you in April.
Okay.
And we're going to see how you feel.
That's fair.
Listen, it does have all that. And I've said with Hallmark, like Hallmark has its place. Like I don't think that they should be complete like that. It's a channel that's dedicated and people like it, and that's fine. If people like it, it's not hurting anybody. I'm always for it. I don't think it's very artistic, but I think it is a good stepping stone for filmmakers.
Sure.
Or a place for some filmmakers to just be like, you know what? I just want to make Hallmark movies now.
Sure.
Because it is easier to repeat, but you do love the task of making the movies. So like I do feel like Hallmark has a place. I do applaud Hallmark for making a movie. They're completely capitalizing on Taylor Swift and the Chiefs and all that jazz.
Sure.
Which everyone is. And so no judgments. Now with that, they made something that's different outside of the scope from their normal Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
So I give them credit. I gave them a 2.
Okay.
So that's where my mind lands. There's some good things about this. It is heartwarming, stuff like that. But as a movie, it's choppy. And there's some things that like the Magic Santa bothers me because it's never fully established until the end. And like, it's just kind of like, why is this one dude the only Santa that exists? And then they tie it in, of course, all together, and he's Magic Santa. So that was like, it wasn't a reveal. It was like, you could have let this go the whole time, and like kind of alluded like that's what this was going to be, instead of third act just dropping it on us.
Right.
So like that bothers me because that's a Deus Ex Machina, in my opinion, which is, for anybody who's like really into movies, that's like when you take the power out of your characters, and it's okay to have magic, but the magic should never be able to take the power away from the characters dictating the role and dictating the story, So, and that's where it happened. I would have liked if like he had found it.
Yeah.
And like kind of came together because and one thing that really bugged me about this movie was her. I liked how he handled it, but she, like, in the family, they kicked him out. Like, as soon as he was like, he's like, oh, I mean, I'm sure most people believe like their thing makes their team win. And they kicked him out and were rude as hell to him.
They were rude as hell. Yeah.
Like, you don't believe our magic hat story?
I know. Gosh, that's for real. And honestly, there could be an argument that Santa stole the hat. Okay. Because he was right there and he wanted to try it on to begin with. So that's why he didn't get a higher rating.
I love it. And yes. And that to play off of that and your point there, he didn't. And that's the thing. They established that this hat may be magic, and it's all alluding to getting to the game to see if it is. And it's not. The whole point of the movie is the hat's not magic. It was the love between them was what the real magic that came about. And it was the real magic of all of their stories was the love that was built on. But they added a magic element in Santa Claus.
I know.
So you take the magic away from the one thing you've been telling everybody is magic the whole time and say it's not, but this guy is because it's Christmas.
Yep.
And that's what, like, I just can't get beyond that. So I had to work that out, but I appreciate you. So that's our ratings for Holiday Touchdown and Chiefs. I don't even know the name. The Chiefs Love Story. If you want to go check it out, go check it out. Let us know what you think in the comments. We appreciate you. If you're watching this as a clip or you're watching or listening to the whole episode, we appreciate you. But we're getting to the final part of our night, and that is